Well, hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. You see, recently I got a question about the TREK Marlin mountain bike and specifically about TREK Marlin 8 for the 2023 season, and the question was very simple: should I just go ahead and buy it or should I just consider it? So today I'm gonna give you the buyer's guide for the TREK Marlin 8 second generation hardtail mountain bike. So let's first answer the question, who is this bike for? So you see, TREK Marlin range is a classical example of a hardtail mountain bike, hardtail cross-country mountain bike. So if you spend the majority of your time exploring the nature, going off-roading, heavy off-roading, climbing some steep mountains, going into the mud, then definitely you should consider this TREK Marlin 8 mountain bike. Also, the retail price of this bike is very attractive. You see, it's a $1,330 retail price. In today's world of mountain bikes and road bikes, it's very hard to find bikes which are hovering around $1,000. So this is a very interesting price point from TREK. Also, when you look at the paint schemes on this bike, TREK is offering two paint schemes. The first one is this so-called gloss Alpine, or I would call it just like a bit of a metallic blue with a hint of black and white. A very classic combination, looks decent. And also there is this beautiful one which they call radioactive red with a hint of black. I would probably go with this red and black combination because, as you know, red is the fastest color, so just a little joke on the side. But it's really good that TREK is offering two paint schemes on this bike when the retail price is $1,330. Okay, so now we can dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what do you get for your hard-earned money. Also, one more thing to mention is that when I'm talking about the specifications of this bike, I'm specifically thinking about the 29-inch wheels on this bike, which are for the sizes, medium, large, extra large. You get it with the 29-inch wheels. If you need to use the smaller sizes, like extra small or small, then the wheels are going to be 27.5 inches on this bike. So just please keep that in mind. So, speaking about the specifications of this bike, let's kick off with the frame and the fork. So the frame is the Alpha Silver Aluminum or Aluminium, depending in which part of the world you are based. Classical aluminium hardtail frame. I have no complaints here. It comes with the TREK's lifetime warranty, and having an aluminium frame on a mountain bike is perfectly fine. When you are trashing your bike out in the forest, it's definitely going to be stiff enough and it's definitely going to be durable enough. This aluminium frame also has a bit of internal cable routing. Of course, it has mounts for different racks and kickstand, and also it will come with the quick release axles, both front and the back. Speaking about the fork you are getting on this bike, so you are getting a RockShox Judy silver fork. So this fork, if we look a bit more specifications, if you would buy this fork on the open market, the starting price is approximately 227 euros US dollars, going all the way to about 400 US dollars, depending on the specifications of the fork. But generally speaking, RockShox Judy fork is going to be a very good fork. This one is with 100 millimeters of travel. It has a tapered steerer, in which in this case is a combination of aluminum and steel. Of course, it can come with a 15 millimeters boost axle or 9 millimeters quick release axles, which you are getting in this case on the bike. When it comes to the spring on this fork, so what are you getting? You are getting a dual position coil spring paired with the solo air fork. So it's a very nice air fork RockShox Judy. And of course, I will mention here that the maximum rotor sizes you can fit go all the way to 220 millimeter rotor sizes, and the legs on the fork are 30 millimeters in diameter. Of course, the minimum rotor size RockShox is suggesting is 160 millimeters, and also the damper type on this fork is a turnkey damper type, and you also, of course, have a lockout on this fork, and you also have a rebound adjustment on this fork. So, considering that this is a classical RockShox Judy solo air fork, very good in my opinion. I have no special complaints about this fork. It's definitely going to serve you very well when you are, trashing your bike out there in the wilderness. So, as I said, RockShox Judy Silver, perfectly fine for this type of the basic cross-country mountain bike. Now let's look at the wheels on this bike. So the wheels are built from the Bontrager Covey rims, classical double wall aluminum rims. They are tubeless ready, but I believe that you will need to provide your own tubeless tape and the tubeless valves. They don't come tubeless ready out of the box, and this is paired with the hubs from Formula. So Formula DC20 hub at the front and DC22 hub at the back. These hubs come with the 6-bolt system for the discs, and also, as I'm seeing here, you have a 5mm quick release axle at the front and another one 5mm at the back. Also, I will mention here that the tires on these wheels are Maxxis Ardent tubeless tires. These tires should be in the sizes 2.35 inches and 2.2 inches. So, okay, a perfectly fine width of the tire. Personally, I would always keep 2.35 inches tire if possible in the future, just because you'll have much more air volume and much better grip when you are off-roading, specifically if the terrain is a bit wet and muddy. But again, Maxxis Ardent tires perfectly fine. When you destroy them, you have a choice of so many good mountain bike tires out there, so easy to replace and upgrade. Now let's talk about the drivetrain on this bike. So what are you getting? So this is the one-by drivetrain system. So basically you only have a single chainring at the front, so there is no front derailleur on this mountain bike. You have the shifters and the rear mech. Everything is the SRAM SX Eagle group set. So this is a mechanical 12-speed group set from SRAM, their lowest level of the mountain bike group sets. I have no complaints here. Definitely it's going to work perfectly fine, this SRAM SX Eagle 12-speed group set, so the shifters and the rear mech. Crankset on the bike, they didn't cut corners, so it's again a SRAM SX Eagle crankset, and in this case it's a 30-tooth chainring at the front. So as I said, a single chainring at the front, and you can go all the way with this chainring to 34-tooth chainring if you really have a bit more power and you feel this 30-tooth chainring is not enough. Bottom bracket is the threaded bottom bracket from Truvativ, 73mm threaded cartridge. It's gonna work perfectly fine. And also the cassette on this bike comes from SRAM, their PG 1210 cassette, and this is a 1150 cassette. So you have a huge range of gears from 1150 sized cassette to the 30-tooth chainring at the front, of course 12-speed group set. And I will just mention here that when you need to replace this cassette in the future, be ready that this item can get a bit pricey. Sometimes these cassettes can cost easily, like $100 to replace. And as I was mentioning, if you ever want to upgrade your single chainring at the front, you can go all the way to 34-tooth chainring if you have a bit more power. Also the chain on this bike, no cutting corners, it's the SRAM SX Eagle chain, 12-speed chain, and I strongly recommend you in the future to keep the same chain or maybe upgrade from the SRAM group set, but just keep the chains from the SRAM family of chains, because then it's going to be nicely compatible with the SRAM cassette and the SRAM chainring. When we talk about some of the smaller components on the bike, like the saddle and the seat post. So the saddle comes from Bontrager. This is the in-house brand of TREK, Bontrager Arvada. It should be a decent saddle. If you don't like it, very easy to replace. But the thing that's kind of a negative thing on this bike, and I would immediately replace it, is this seat post. So you see, it's a Bontrager aluminum seat post. I have no clue why TREK went with aluminum seat post. This should have been a carbon fiber seat post. So this would be my first change on this bike. If you get this bike, save a bit of money, like $150 and buy yourself a proper carbon fiber seat post. There's so many good carbon fiber seat posts out there on the market. Just get one, specifically if it comes with a lifetime warranty, like, components from Ritchie, from, even Specialized now sells it, Pro components. So have a look at these carbon fiber seat posts and just upgrade it, because a good carbon fiber seat post will definitely soak up a lot of smaller road bumps, and this is what you need on this hardtail mountain bike. When it comes to the handlebars, classical Bontrager aluminum handlebars, 720mm width, nice width of the handlebars, no problems there. And also they are paired with the Bontrager aluminum stem. Again, no problems here with the aluminum pieces. This is basically easy to adjust, easy to replace, nothing is proprietary here, so a good decision from TREK in my opinion. Now when we talk about the braking system on the bike, you are getting a Shimano's hydraulic disc brakes. Of course, these are very basic Shimano hydraulic disc brakes, Shimano's MT200 hydraulic disc brakes. They come with the Shimano's RT26 braking rotors, 180 millimeters front and the back, so that's very good. Lots of good heat dissipation, lots of good stopping power. And as I would say here, these MT200 hydraulic disc brakes are going to work perfectly fine. If one day you really want to upgrade your braking system, you can go, for example, for the Shimano Dior braking system with their Shimano Dior level braking rotors. But as it is now, once when you destroy these rotors, keep it on the Shimano family of the rotors. If you want to upgrade a little bit, fine. If not, you can always stick with these basic Shimano RT braking rotors. Now the total weight of this bike in size medium is 13.2 kilograms with the tubes. So if you add the pedals on top of it, let's say another 300 grams, we are probably speaking about 13.5 kilograms. Definitely, not the light cross-country mountain bike. If you really want to go, light cross-country mountain bikes, they would probably be around 11 kilograms. But this, considering that it's an aluminium frame, it's perfectly fine, and also considering that it has kind of basic RockShox Judy silver fork, 13.5 kilograms, no special complaints here from me. Now in a summary, when you look at this TREK Marlin 8 for the 2023 season, what would be my advice to you? Retail price is $1,330 and I would definitely say if you are in the market for this type of the bike, just go ahead and buy it. It's a very good offer from TREK, and even if you are a bit tight with money, as I'm seeing now, you can go for the TREK Marlin 7 mountain bike, which is a bit cheaper. It hovers around $1,000, and I think even with this $1,330, it's still a very attractive price for this hardtail mountain bike. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!